I'm Mr. Penguin, and welcome back to another Minecraft video in which I'm going to be showing you how to make a missile. So this is the design right here. As you can see, it's pretty big. There's a big hole over there from another missile. But so if we go ahead and launch this, you will see it starts to move, and this will activate if any of this part gets stopped by a block. So if we just go ahead and go like that, you'll see it keep going for a little bit more, but then this TNT ignites and everything else stops. And there you go, missile. So anyway, to get this design started, you can use honey blocks or slime blocks. It's completely up to you. But you want to go, you want to find the highest point in the path that the missile is going to be traveling, and go make sure that you are 4 up than that. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then break these bottom 3. And then place a piston right there, and either honey blocks or slime blocks right there, and then observer there, stick piston there, slime block there, slime block there, and you want to go ahead and place obsidian back there. And I'm going to go to the front here and place a slime block there and break that obsidian. Then you want to take an observer, place it here, place a piston there, and then an observer there, and then TNT on this slime block right there. So this is the first part. This is the igniting system, and what also what pushes the rest of the TNT along. Now, if you want a really small missile, you can just stick with this and make this the only thing you want. But if you want it to be a lot bigger, then just keep watching and you'll find out how to do that. So you want to take observer, place it there, there, and there. And piston and place it there, there, and there. Then you want to grab slime blocks and go out 2, out 2, and out 2. And it can be slime blocks and honey blocks. It doesn't just have to be slime blocks. Then you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go down here and go 1, 2, 3, and then down 1. Right there. Then you want to grab observers, place it there, there, and there. Then grab a piston, place it there, there, and there. So like this. Then you want to grab TNT and place it along like that, along like this, and then right there, right there as well, right there, and then there. And then again, you could just stop right here, but if you want more TNT, just keep watching to find out how. So now you want to grab slime blocks and go 2 out in front of each one of these pistons, like so. And then take observer and place it in front of each one of these. Then take a piston, place it there, there, and there. And then take TNT and place it across like this, like that, like that. And then there, 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 and then there, there, and there. So it should look a bit like this. And then you just want to keep making these little sections right here in front of each one of these pistons until you decide that you've got enough TNT. And if you need to keep watching the episode, keep watching that specific section to be able to see how to make it, then I will put a timestamp in the description, so you can just keep going back to the exact spot over and over again until you finally get it. And it is completely fine if you don't catch on right away. Okay, so I only made these one more time. You can make it as many times as you want. You can just keep repeating forever until you decide that you've got enough TNT. Of course, the more TNT, the bigger the explosion. Now that if you've decided that you've made enough of these little sections, you're just going to make one more module section thing to cap it all off. And so you want to go out 2 and break that one, out 2, break that one, and out 2, break that one on all of these. And then you want to go TNT here, here, there, 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 and then there, there, and there. So you've got kind of these, I don't know what kind of shapes these are. Upward down, upside down capital T things, I don't know. But then you want to go like this, and like that. So you should have this kind of covered thing up. So it's a lot like this one back here, except for it doesn't have the observer and the piston, because since this is going to be the last section, you don't need the observer and the piston, because the observer and the piston was what just pushed this forward so it could keep moving. But since there's nothing in front of it that needs to be pushed forward, you don't need the observer or the piston. Then you want to, of course, go like this, and like that, and then like this, and like that. Now, I just want to make a quick announcement here. All of these sections are set to have the maximum amount of TNT possible. So you can't go over here and like add on more TNT right there and there, because there's a certain push limit that which is the amount of blocks that pistons can push, and each one of these sections is 12 blocks. So and that's the piston push limit. So if you place on any more TNT, it'll be 13 blocks, and then it won't be able to move anymore because the piston push limit would have been reached. So anyway, then what you want to do is go ahead in the back. You might want to have a wall to fire this at. And then you want to go back here. And on this observer, you want to go ahead and place a block here to activate it. And you'll see it is off, moving. And then you just want to go down here. And if you want to have a wall that it'll crash into or something. But if you don't have that, you can just place a block in front of one of these things, and it will stop. And then this TNT will ignite, and then all that will blow up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how this works. Now this can be a bit complicated, so if you don't understand it, that is completely fine. It's a bit complicated, redstone. But so basically what's happening here is whenever an observer detects an update, it will power something. So in this case, this observer, when it detects an update from you placing a block here, it will shoot out this piston, which will cause everything which will push these two slime blocks forward. And since slime blocks will stick to all blocks around it, it will stick to these blocks right here, and then it'll push all of these forward, and since these blocks are getting pushed forward, it also pushes this block forward, which will result in this TNT getting pushed forward. And then what's happening is since whenever an observer moves, it causes an update, which means that it will give a redstone output. 'Cause that's actually how observers work. It's not when a block is placed in front of it, it's whenever an update is made. And since this observer updates when it's pushed forward, then it will give a redstone output, and it will pull these blocks that were back here forward back this way. And since it'll pull these two slime blocks back because it got updated, and this is a sticky piston, but then it will also grab onto these two blocks right here, and then these two blocks right here because of slime blocks, and then it'll also push these forward as well. All of these right here forward. But then, so what happens when it crashes is, since this stops, but this observer is still getting an update every time it's moved forward, then since it stopped, this observer still got an update. So what happens is this observer will make this piston shoot up this observer, and since this observer is getting moved, it will activate this TNT, which will ignite the rest of the TNT. Now again, if you don't understand any of that, that is totally fine. It's kind of complicated, redstone, to understand. So if you don't understand it, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so then what's happening here is these stuck onto the side of these slime blocks right here. So since slime blocks stick to all blocks around it, it will stick to these blocks. So when these are moving, these observers will get an update because they're going to move forward, and then they will update these pistons right here, which will make these pistons push forward, which will push forward the block in front of it. Like so, like that. Okay, so then we have this section, and so this section is pretty straightforward. So like I said earlier, what's happening is this gets moved forward, and this observer gets an update, which it makes this piston right here extend. So it extends this right here, and since these sticky pistons these slime blocks, not sticky pistons, are sticking all to each other, they are all moving it forward. And then this slime block right here is pushing these two forward because it's still in front of it. And then since this observer is moving forward, it gets an update, and then this piston, so then sends out a redstone power, and this piston gets powered and shoots it out for whatever comes next. Okay, so then this section is kind of like that section over there. So what happens is this piston is, when it gets moved forward, it causes an update. This observer causes an update which powers this piston, which shoots it out. And so since all these TNT are sticking to it, it gets moved forward, like how it was on this one. And then when it gets moved forward, this observer gets an update which powers this piston. And then this side over here, it works exactly like how this side does, it's just kind of flipped over. Okay, so this section works a lot like the sections before it. Since this is getting pushed forward, this observer gets an update, and then this pushes this section forward, and there's an observer back right there that gets an update, and then it will shoot this one right here out. And then, of course, the sections that would be right here and then right here next to this one work exactly like that as well. Okay, so then this last section is the simplest section of them all. It's just this slime block is sticking to these right here. And since these are in front of it, it pushes these forward because they're in front of it. And then this is a total of 12 blocks, which is the case for all of these sections here. So it can't have any more TNT on it, because if it were to, it just wouldn't move in general. Anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed this Minecraft video, and I will catch you in the next one.